You open your eyes, white ceiling, the hum of ventilation, a smell of new plastic and old sweat. You're sitting in a chair, in front of an empty desk. Your wrists have marks from handcuffs, but the handcuffs are gone. The door behind you is closed, but not locked. Nobody is holding you. 2 hours ago, you had everything: a bank account, a work profile, social media, a medical file in an app. Then the algorithm decided you were a risk, not a person, not a judge, not an officer, a system, automatically. No explanation, no case number, no face to look in the eye. A like on the wrong post, a GPS ping in the wrong neighborhood, a transaction the algorithm found unusual. On the desk, a single sheet of paper, a printout. You pick it up. Decision made automatically. Appeal unavailable. No human operator was involved. You are patient 0. The first one, the system wrote off without explanation. On the back of the printout, in tiny font, almost unreadable. Kathy O'Neill called these systems opaque models, algorithms that deliver a verdict and never have to explain it. They operate in credit bureaus, insurance companies, police departments, and hiring platforms. A person gets a rejection, but never gets a reason, because the system doesn't have a reason in the human sense, only a probability. On the floor, by the door, a phone, cracked screen, one notification: your account has been suspended due to suspicious activity. You can pick up the phone and try to reach a real person, wait hours, maybe days, no guarantees. Or you can leave the phone on the floor, stand up, walk through the unlocked door, start over with no digital trail. What do? Pause the video and comment, call support, or walk away. Residential district, deep night. Detective Jimmy stands in the doorway of the room you just left. His beige trench coat is wrinkled, like he slept in it. On his shoulder, a snail in a tiny coat. She slowly extends her feelers toward the empty chair where you sat. Someone was here, Jimmy says quietly, picking up the printout from the desk. He reads it, folds it, puts it in his pocket. Let's go. We need to figure out how this happened. Now you're a consumer, the lowest level. Blue light from a screen. You're lying on a couch. Your phone knows you better than you think. It knows when you wake up at night, which word you linger on, which video makes you hit next without thinking. One wrong move, one swipe in the wrong direction, and what you'll believe a year from now changes forever. A video appears in your feed, 45 million views, 6 minutes of absolute confidence, without a single source. The reactions below it: anger, fear, agreement. To your neighbor through the wall, you're just someone who doesn't turn off the screen at night. They don't know you're standing at a crossroads that looks like a pause in scrolling. Share it. 10 seconds. The algorithm rewards you with reach. Verify it. 20 minutes. Nobody will know, and no reach. Choose, share, or verify. Jimmy picks up a forgotten tablet from the couch, the screen still glowing. He scrolls through the recommendation history and stops. Snail crawls up to the screen and starts circling the same icon. Again, never once looks at the ones next to it. On the screen, an internal algorithm log no regular user ever sees. User lingered 4.2 seconds. Recommended 6 more units of similar content. Probability of deviation 3%. Eli Pariser called this the filter bubble. The algorithm shows you what you already agree with, because that's what keeps your eyes on the screen. 2 people searching the same word in the same city see completely different results. 1 reality, 2 reports, and neither one knows the other has a different report. Home studio. Before dawn, Jimmy sits on the edge of a desk, the only light, a monitor. Snail reaches a feeler toward the screen, turns around, crawls back into the shadow, toward the screen again, back again. Here's the thing about the algorithm, Jimmy says. Eyes locked on the screen. It never tells you what to do. It just shows you what's already working, and that's scarier than any order. Now you're a content creator. 6 months in, hundreds of hours of editing, 3 scripts you were genuinely proud of, and 500 subscribers. Your most honest video got 80 views. The one you recorded in 20 minutes in your car got 94,000. You figured out the rules, and that understanding did something uncomfortable to the reason you started. Option 1, what you want to say. Option 2, what the algorithm will reward. They don't match. To a viewer who finds your channel a year from now, you'll either be the person who told the truth, or the person who learned to say what the machine wants to hear. Stay yourself, reach drops. Follow the algorithm. Each next video drifts further from why you started. Choose, stay yourself, or follow the algorithm. Jimmy notices an open laptop on the next desk. On screen, an internal platform memo, accidentally not deleted. Content strategy Q3, engagement over value. Metric, retention greater than 60 seconds equals boost. Content quality not evaluated. Snail crawls toward the keyboard. Jimmy taps his finger on the desk. Snail turns toward the finger, then back to the screen, to the finger, to the screen, endlessly. Herbert Simon, Nobel laureate, was the first to say it. When information is infinite, the scarce resource isn't information, it's attention. Tim Wu took it further. Platforms turn creators from authors into raw material suppliers for the ad machine. The algorithm doesn't ask you to make bad content. It measures engagement and rewards whatever produces it. The creator stops asking, "What do I want to say?" and starts asking, "What will the algorithm allow?" It's not censorship, it's something more clever. CO Working Space, Manila. Early morning Jimmy stands at a long table lined with monitors, images flickering. He looks down at a small instruction sheet written in fine print. Snail sits next to a stack of tiny stickers, methodically marking objects on the table, one by one. Invisible work. Nobody watches. There are people, Jimmy says, quietly, who make everything you call artificial intelligence possible. Not one of them will appear in the credits. You're a data labeler, a ghost. $3 per 1,000 images. Your job. Look at things that are hard to look at and tell the machine what they mean. Violence or not, acceptable or not, real person or synthetic. You're training a neural network that'll be sold for billions. Your name won't be anywhere. 500 images out of 1,000. Your speed is dropping. Payment is per quantity, not accuracy. Mark it correctly and add a flag. You lose your pace. Today's pay drops. Skip it as safe. The content enters the system. You'll never know what happens next. Choose mark correctly or skip. Jimmy sits down at the workstation of a departing labeler. Under the keyboard, a crumpled pamphlet. Welcome to the microtask program. Pay $0.003 per unit. Quality appeal, unavailable. Client name, confidential. Snail marks the pamphlet with stickers. Methodically, nobody watches. Mary Gray and Siddharth Suri called this ghost work. Millions of people label data, train algorithms, moderate content. Platforms build their interfaces, so this layer remains invisible. For the developer, there's a dataset. For the user, there's a smart system. The human isn't in the equation, but they're there. Always were, and their labor is still paid the least. Tech company campus. California. Jimmy sits in a glass open-plan office. Sunlight, greenery, the white noise of a coffee machine. He's holding a printed document, reading without changing expression. Snail stands at a fork between 2 marker-drawn paths on the desk. A small sign says, "Right, no explanation." Snail follows it, doesn't check the left path. Here's what's interesting, Jimmy says, eyes still on the document. When a machine makes a decision, people stop questioning it, not because the machine is smarter, because it's more convenient not to think for yourself. You're a prompt engineer. You write instructions for AI. Your words are how the model understands reality. You define constraints, what the system can say and what it can't. Deadline is tomorrow. Testing showed an ambiguous result. You could add another rule to fix it, but that means another week and a delayed launch. The manager says, statistically, it's rare. We'll handle the feedback after launch. Hundreds of thousands of people tomorrow will ask this system something important and trust its answer. Add the constraint, right, but expensive. Launch as is, fast, but the risk is real. Choose, add the constraint or launch as is. By the way, you made it to the second to last level. Most people drop off before this. If you're the kind who stays till the end, subscribe to Detective Jimmy and Snail and hit like. The algorithm works exactly like this. It rewards those who don't stay silent. Jimmy opens a desk drawer. Inside an envelope stamped Internal Safety Review, not for distribution. A quarterly incident report. Snail stands at the fork, frozen. Linda Skitka documented the phenomenon of automation bias. When a system gives a recommendation, people lower their own critical thinking. They check automated decisions less often than human ones, and they fail exactly where the system is wrong, because the machine feels more reliable. Documented in aviation, medicine, law, and now in everyday AI. The problem isn't bad intent. Trust in the system switches off skepticism. San Francisco, conference room. High floor Jimmy stands at a panoramic window fog. The city below looks like a schematic, orderly, predictable, manageable. Snail crawls toward the glowing laptop screen, reaches it, stops, slowly bows to the screen, freezes. The most powerful person in the room, Jimmy says, without turning around, isn't the one with the most money. It's the one who decides what counts as truth. You're a reality broker. The top. You decide which sources the algorithm trusts, which topics get a boost, which words trigger suppression. In your hands, not one person's feed. In your hands, what 300 million people see every day, and what they never see. An internal team report. The current settings maximize engagement, but systematically reduce reach for sources outside audience clusters. People literally stop seeing perspectives that differ from their own. Change the settings toward more diversity. It's right. Engagement drops 8%. The board will notice. Leave it as is. It's convenient. But you just read the document describing the consequences. You can't pretend you didn't. Final level. Change the algorithm or leave it as is. Jimmy walks to the printer in the corner. In the tray, a forgotten printout. He picks it up, reads it, hands it to Snail in silence. She freezes on it. The format of the document, the same one that was on the desk in the empty room at the very beginning. Same font, same signature, decision made automatically. Only now, you're on the other side. You're the one who decides which decisions will be made automatically. Tarleton Gillespie called this algorithmic authority. The tendency to trust algorithms as neutral arbiters of reality, even though they were built by people with specific priorities. The platform doesn't say, "We decided this is true." It just shows it more often. The user feels like they found the information themselves. Control through the appearance of no control. Jimmy's archive. Jimmy enters a room where screens replace the walls, each showing something different, all muted. He walks slowly between them. Snail sits on the edge of an open laptop. A lamp with a green stem lights the documents. Patient zero case, opaque models. Snail sits on the printout, trying to read the fine print, can't, turns away. Algorithms deliver verdicts that can't be appealed because they can't be understood. Consumer case, filter bubble. Snail circles the same document, again, never looks at the ones next to it. Two people search the same word in the same city and see different results. One reality, two reports. Creator case, attention, economy. Snail moves toward a paper. Jimmy taps his finger. Snail turns toward the finger, then the paper, endlessly. The algorithm rewards not meaning, but retention, and those are rarely the same thing. Labeler, case, ghost work. Snail marks objects with stickers. One by one, nobody watches. Without millions of invisible people, no modern AI would function. Engineer case, automation bias. Snail stands at a fork. Sign says right. Snail goes right left. Might have had food. Trust in the system outpaces understanding of its limits. Broker case, algorithmic authority. Snail bows to the screen, freezes. The platform is the most influential editor in history, but it doesn't call itself an editor.
Authors note opaque models. You apply for a loan. Denied. Reason automated decision. You call. You wait. You explain. The operator says, I can't see a reason. The system decided. You hang up thinking maybe I did something wrong. But you didn't do anything. The system calculated a probability, and you ended up on the wrong side of a percentage filter bubble. You think you're following the news, but you're following a mirror. Try tomorrow to find one source you normally disagree with, not to change your mind. To remember what the world looks like outside your bubble. Attention economy. Ever opened your phone for no reason, reflexively? That's the result of engineering teams who studied the exact moment your hand reaches for the device. Your attention is their raw material. Ghost work. Next time you praise an AI for learning something, remember the person in Manila who spent 8 hours explaining it to the machine. Without them, the machine knows nothing. With them, it looks smart. Automation bias. Ever trusted your GPS more than your own eyes? Drove where it said even though you knew something was off. Same thing, just higher stakes, and algorithmic authority. The question worth asking every time, not is this true, but who decided to show this to me? Different questions. The second one gets asked far less often. You're living in an era where truth isn't what happened. It's what the algorithm decided to show you. Detective Jimmy knows that surveillance doesn't always look like a camera in the corner. Sometimes it looks like a perfectly curated feed. Subscribe, check the community tab, and make the right choice. This was Detective Jimmy and Snail. See you in the shadows.